to actually have something new form is super difficult. Almost anything that we see as new is usually a retread of something that's already been out there, and now it's just taking on a new element because of technology and globalism.
Yeah, and there's something to say about Kairos in the sense that, and I think this is something that people don't totally understand about the way that I talk about even Christianity, is that Christians have the idea that Christ will return and that the return of Christ will inaugurate a new reality. And so there is a sense in which this thing that we've got here, this Christianity, even this whole thing, the whole liturgy, the whole thing, everything we're doing, that's not it. That's not the fullness of it. That there's something that will happen at some point, a point that you cannot predict, a point that you cannot control, a point that you cannot direct, that will bring about a new beginning. And that's the thing about Kairos, is that once you kind of understand that, you realize that, I talked to Rafe Kelly recently, and I gave this example because he was trying to understand Kairos. And I said, when it's time to wash the dishes, it's time to wash the dishes because the dishes are dirty and they're on the counter, and you have soap and you have water and you have something to put them in. And then when all of that comes together, then and everybody knows that now's the time to do the dishes. But if you're skiing on the hill and you decide, I'm going to do the dishes now, well, you can't do the dishes, because you can't force Kairos. You can't decide when it's time for the change to happen. How can I say this? Like, I have something that I care about, that I want to see happen in the world, and that I think is important. And I see that there's a transformation afoot, and I feel like I have a capacity or an opportunity with my brother as well to help people make sense of what's going on, and to make sense of where we're going, and to maybe help people see what they can grab onto as this change is happening. And that's what I care about. And I don't actually care that much about the vehicle by which that's possible for me to happen, which is why, I rarely say no. If like a big podcast asks me to come on, I'll say yes. I just see like, hey, here's a bunch of people that haven't heard what I think is important, and so I have a chance to say that.
And it's you have a way of talking about, of sort of balancing the eschatological and the perennial in the proper way, because it's Kairos and it's Chronos, and those don't go away. There's always these Kairos moments, but there's also the ongoing Chronos. We await the second coming of Christ, sort of the ultimate Kairos. But he continues to come, and he can, when we say at Easter he is risen, we don't mean just in the past. Yes, he has risen, he is risen, and he is coming, and it's all of those together.